Hello, Professor Cash and or Professor Munson. This is my my video for my personal review of the Plaine project. Just going over a few things I liked, I enjoyed, I didn't like, so on and so forth, and how I thought the project went. A couple things I liked. I liked the experience that I gained through this project, like working with focus groups and actual like real world application of marketing and getting information and data and how to apply it. I enjoyed the amount of actual like work that went into it, like creating renderings, having to work with the team, and coming up with creative briefs. I think all those were really good things that I would have to use in the real world and apply when I get a job in the workforce. Onto a couple things I didn't like. I did not love how, like, I guess, cumbersome the class was, and if that's having to be at Plaine for something, or having to present it somewhere, or like having all the different projects or pieces due at different times. I felt like towards the end, when we were getting to putting together our boards for the symposium and that kind of thing, the documentary became kind of an issue, because it was, oh, we need to do the documentary, but we also have to get these boards done, and these boards are more important. And so Munson had ended up telling us, just do the boards, focus on our boards and our renders for that. So yeah, that was a little difficult. The workload at times was kind of crazy, and then the having to be present and everything also is really difficult, and something I didn't enjoy, because the town is 30 minutes away, and so it's kind of difficult, especially as a student athlete. And I understand student comes first, so I tried to make it to as much stuff as possible. But as a student athlete, that it was just difficult to make it work in my schedule, because that's an hour of driving every day to round trip. So I had to plan on losing an hour every day, which is already difficult in my schedule. But I made it work. I did end up getting in trouble at some point because I was a little bit late to a meet. I'm still fine to compete, but I was a little bit late. My coaches kind of yelled at me, but it is what it is, because I was in Belle Plaine. So that's one thing I didn't like. Another thing I didn't love, my group worked fine, but we definitely had the smallest group, and I felt like it was the most difficult for us because we had the smallest group, because each member was required to probably do more than anybody else in any other group. So with having each member having to do more of the workload, it was more difficult to delegate it and get people. There was a few people in our group who were less willing to do certain topics, and so certain topics or assignments, so that was kind of difficult. Being like, hey, you need to do this part of the project. Even if it's just a small piece, it was kind of difficult. Or just, and then when people didn't show up to meetings to even get that information, that also made it difficult, because it led to miscommunications and people being upset with other people and that kind of thing. Another, I guess, negative is it kind of wasn't what I thought it was going to be, I guess, because when I first joined the class, Cash had told me that it would be, we'd be doing work with Belle Plaine, and Belle Plaine was in on the project and wanted to see us succeed in it. And as we went along, I found out later that Belle Plaine didn't really seem to want us involved at all, and kind of didn't care to hear our input. And so that was kind of irritating to me, I guess. And then on top of that, we kind of only had a handshake deal on payment, which I feel like we definitely got the short end. Not necessarily friends students, but friends in general got the short end of the stick on that, because we ended up stuck, and we had to do it anyways because it was already a class, but we basically just gave them free labor. We basically just gave them free labor for the fun of it. But yeah, so anyways, those are some negatives on the class and some positives. I think all in all, it was a good class. And it's good to experience that in the real world, I think. Even the negatives and like the city not wanting to work with us and that kind of thing, I think that's good to experience, because that's things that you will encounter in the real world and in your jobs moving forward past college. So I don't think that was the worst thing in the world, because now I guess I've had experience in dealing with that, and I'm not going to be super shocked if I have an issue like that in the workforce. And yeah, that's probably about all. Thanks.